Hi guys, this is Coach JT along with Coach Larry and the beautiful, funny, charming, and smart Campbell. As always, here on our live call with Coaches Larry and JT. Campbell, do you want to go ahead and sort of lead us into tonight's segment?
Yeah, so tonight, from what I've heard, we have a very important meeting planned or a very important topic to talk about. Um, like I said in my announcement today, it's a surprise topic, and I'm pretty excited because it's a surprise topic for me too. So I'm gonna hand it over to Larry, to Coach Larry, and he can introduce the topic and get us all going.
Sounds
Yeah, thank you very much. Tonight's topic, it got brought to me by a buddy of mine that is coaching at the high school level. And it really hit home with me because I had the same thing happen to me when I was coaching in high school. And that's one of the topics is when you allow parents to get involved into the organization, into the high school baseball, what is too much? What is too far? What can they do to bring value to the team? And, from 1A to all the way to 5A, 6A, there's a big difference in kids from 1A, 2A, 3A that come out and play compared to 5A and 6A in some sports. So you have a freshman, you have a sophomore team, you have a JV team, and you have your varsity team as well. So that's already right there, 4 teams. You may have 5 teams, and you need more coaches. And so you have a lot of parents that volunteer. They play college baseball. Now they're in professional life, and they're engineers or accountants or whatever they be, real estate, and they have time to give back to the school that their kid or daughter is playing at. And I guess my question is that came up to me is how much is too much? What do you allow them to do? And then on the other note is, you get a lot of those other parents that don't have time coaching. They don't have time to be out there with their kids and but they have things to say about it still. And that sometimes is good and sometimes it's bad. And so we want to get into that too. That there's a lot of these parents out there that want the best for their kid, and everybody thinks highly of their kid, which is totally fine. But that also commits a lot of rift and a lot of problems inside the organization, inside a team, inside your programs that can really cause I don't want to say like a cancer that can spread really fast, and then there goes your whole team atmosphere and your whole team how it's going to be. So that was one of the topics I want to bring up today and talk to you guys about what you guys think about in your organizations that we have, and if you've seen it and how do you deal with that moving forward.
Oh my God, this is like Larry. Every time you bring up a question, I feel like it's a topic that we could talk about 6 hours on. You
I
never
totally
bring one
agree.
like here would be one that I would like to hear from you, and we'll get into the topic here in a second. Hey, Coach JT, what color is your hat? 'Cause I could just answer that. Boom, it's blue,
Right?
and we're done. But
We may think it's blue. We don't know yet.
but no, your question is so deep. No, this is a great one, and it's a fine line, right? Because you're absolutely right. As coaches, we need the assistance of parents. Without volunteers, there's just not enough people who could commit enough time to help these players get better. But as a coach, as a head coach, you have to have that help. So the question really comes down to how do I get that help and set these foul lines, these lines that we play inside, these guidelines so that parents know, okay, when you're in the dugout with me, if I have invited you into the dugout, what is your role and how does that work? Because it's very different from the parent who doesn't have time to be at practices, doesn't have time to volunteer, and doesn't have time to help, but then sits behind the backstop and tells everybody how terrible a coach you are because you're not doing the things that they think you should be doing. And by the way, you've been coaching 24, 25, 26 years, and they played Little League baseball.
Correct.
It happens all the time, right, Coach?
I see it every day. Exactly.
So what I would say first is, and I have this discussion, and a lot of coaches have this discussion at the very beginning of the season, especially at the high school level. And they say, look, I'm the coach. Here's Coach Larry. Here's Coach Campbell. We will be the coaches to your kids. Once they cross this line, there's no fence here, but there is a line. Once they cross that, they're in our care. And I promise you, we will take great care of them. We will help them to grow and learn and excel. And they may not be the best on the field, but we're going to do everything to bring every single bit of talent and skill and ability that they have to the surface. We want to see it. We want to be able to display that to you when we play in the games. And we work a lot in practices to be able to do that. But in order for us to do that effectively, everybody on that side of the line is a parent and a cheerleader. You're not here to coach them. Some of you might be travel ball coaches. Some of you might have coached in rec league. Some of you might have played little league or high school or college or professional, and that's okay. That's okay. It's important to be able to define our roles. So when I'm at the office, I'm the CEO of Pack Baseball and Softball Academy. When I'm on this field, I'm the coach of your child. When you're in that bleacher, you're the cheerleader for your child and for the rest of the team. And that's your role. And I try to define that early. And we know, Larry, everybody has short-term memory. Their kid doesn't play for the first 2 innings of the 3rd game, and they're like, why is my kid never playing? So let's say, Campbell, that we have had this discussion with our parents. You, as the outsider who has probably never actually had that discussion, what's your perception of what I just said?
Well, I think it's important to tell the parents that, like, yes, they are the cheerleaders, and like that is something that, like, I saw you do, and I saw you struggle to go through that. But like, if Coach JT can sit behind home plate and not coach his daughter, like his own daughter, if he can sit there and just be her cheerleader, then I feel like any parent should be able to do that. I
So true.
have the same issue, but mine is different because we always have that one guy who is on the team, has been playing his baseball his whole life, and he wants to input his own opinion, and he just wants us to do all of his practice plans. He wants us to make his lineups. Like, he wants to have a say in everything, but he's never actually taken the steps to apply to be an officer. So he technically has no say when it comes to lineups or practice plans or anything like that. And what I did to deal with that guy is I listened to him. I would, hear him out and be like, you know what? You have some great ideas. If you want to implement some of those ideas, you should go and apply to be an officer. And usually, whenever I mentioned that, he would just immediately stop talking because that wasn't something he was interested in doing. And like, that wasn't something he wanted to put the work in to do. So I don't know. I feel like with parents, as long as you like set that boundary, I mean, if I can do it with a 22-year-old who thinks he knows everything about baseball and set that boundary with him, then parents should be able to understand that, oh yeah, I am my child's biggest cheerleader, and that's my job here.
I think that is so cool. I actually love that, Campbell, and I am going to immediately implement that. If that guy sitting behind the backstop and give me all kinds of input, I'm gonna say, look, we practice on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. You show up, you will become a volunteer coach. And once you're here practicing with these kids and you're here all that time, then you and I will sit down and discuss strategy.
Yeah.
I probably lost a day, coach.
Yep.
Yeah.
When you put it in that context, they're gonna say, "What?"
Yeah.
Well, I don't really know what you're talking about now. Now we gotta talk. Oh, okay. So, yeah.
Wait a minute. I have to do more than just get my idea right, because
Exactly, 100%.
when you're out there, you just everybody could give you an idea, but nobody knows how to implement that idea.
Exactly.
One, because we've been coaching long enough, Larry. We've probably tried it.
Oh yeah. Like I told you, we never stop learning, right? And
Yeah.
every day's a learning day for us. But I've been on both sides, and I've been on the side of, you had nip it on the bud right away, and it was going to spread fast. And I was a head coach at the varsity level, and it was down below my freshman sophomore teams that were having the problems, and I had to step up and be a coach and say, hey, this is how it's going to be. This is our program. We're one program, not just varsity, freshman, JV. We're one program, and we're going for that common goal, win state. And we can't get there without you guys doing what you need to do down below. And it's like a feeder program. And I look at my volunteer staff, and it's volunteer. That's what you realize. It's volunteer. They're not getting paid. They're not getting paid nothing. They're using their own time to be out there to help work with these kids. Your son, your daughter, who may it be. And no one's out there to hurt nobody. I guarantee it. They're all out there for the common goal of what the varsity coach wants to do. They're not making the plans. They're not making the lineup. The coaches are doing that. They're just out there to help out. And yeah, you definitely look at where their credentials are at. You see what they've done, what they played. Most of my volunteers, they played some type of college baseball. So had some kind of baseball background. So that was good. But I don't care who you are, what you do in the majors or whatever, you're gonna have that one person that's going to cause that riff and put some little bug in somebody's ear, and then all of a sudden it goes from here to here. And that's where we have to see how can we stop that, and how you try to make a common goal. And so then when I went from high school to college at a Division II school, the head coach told me, he goes, you won't have the problems you had at high school level, because we stop it at the source. And once that source gets stopped, it's done. And either that's getting cut, or he realized I messed up and he won't do it again. And I get stopped really quick. So if you have control of your program like you do at the college level, it gets stopped pretty fast, and it doesn't go as far as that people think. But you definitely get at the high school level, and even in club where we're at, we have some power. We can control a lot of stuff that we need to control. And if there's a problem with a parent, what we do, we sit down and talk to them, say, hey, this is what's going on. We need to stop now. And if it continues to keep on going, then we will figure out a way to remove that problem real fast. Because, like I said, we're a family, and you're only as strong as your weakest link. And that weak, there's some problems.
I love that, and I think this is where we start to bring some psychology into it, right? Because a lot of coaching is about psychology, and some of the best coaches understand the psychology of the mind. And these parents, it's like something you said very early on, Larry, was these parents want so badly for their kids to be the best, to be the brightest, and they're so proud of them, and they have these blinders on, and that's okay. That's a parent's job, 100%. The first thing a parent needs to do is believe in their kid, period. I will never disagree with that. What we need to do as coaches is say, let's sit down in an environment that they control. Okay, you're not going to say this to the parent, but you're going to say, why don't we have a meeting about this in my office? You and I will sit down, we'll go through it. And as a coach, you sit there and you listen, because that parent just wants to be heard. They just want to, right? And you sit there and you listen and you listen and you listen just a little bit more, and you say, all right, so Coach Larry, I understand that your son is the most fantastic player on the planet, and we're going to make him even better here. And that's why he's here. That's why you entrusted me to do this with his son. We can use Coach Bert's words. This is the greatness factory, right? We make people great here. And that's what we do. And that's why we're so glad that you entrusted your son with us. And here's what we're going to do. Da, 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 da. What do you think about that? What do you think about that, Larry? And then we're also doing this and this and this. And this is how we implement these things. What do you think about that? And when you start to have that conversation with them, now they're thinking about what you're doing. And right, Coach Larry, that I do these things because they work. And I do it this way because it works. I promise you, if I find a better way, I will do it that way. But until then, this is the way I do it. And this is how I do it. And if you start to engage their mind in thinking, by the time they leave your office, they think they thought of it. It's their plan.
Yeah.
And so the next time, guess who is your biggest cheerleader on that team?
Yep, 100%. And you got to realize too is these are big schools with a lot of kids. Like Campbell has like 60 plus kids at your practice. You're one person. Can you work with all 60 of those kids? No. That's why volunteer parents and volunteers that come out there on their own time to help out is so beneficial. And if they're bringing positive change to your program all day long, I mean, you want that because you have that rapport with that coach, that parent, whatever it may be, but they're bringing a major asset of knowing the game. How many times have you been out in practice with club people, with club kids, with high school programs that don't know nothing? We've seen it already. They don't know nothing what's going on, right? And you're working with our kids, and that's what I'm saying. So when you bring in quality parents to help out the program, and they're winning and doing what they need to do at the next level, that's huge. And that's where I'm saying is that you look at, I guess, pick your fight. Pick what you want to fight about. You're mad because the parents are on that diamond. Was it one of you? Because you can't push time out there for it. You don't have time to do that. Or you're really mad because they're not doing a good job for your son or daughter. That's what the questions need to be asked. And when you go down to the really heart of it, it's about they're not on that coaching squad, which they really want to be. So why not ask them? Why not ask that parent, that coach, say, hey, if you have somebody that maybe quits this year or whatever, or you have another room for another volunteer, I'd be happy to volunteer my time for you guys in the program. That's what you need to do, not go and tell everybody other parent what's going on and then cause a rift within the program.
Yeah,
that's pretty good too.
Yeah, I love it. Preach it. I mean, it's sad to think. I mean, I won't mention any names here, but I had a girl who was super nice, super friendly, super talented. And when she came to me, she had already been through 4 different club programs. And I never thought to ask why, because she was amazing. She was talented. She was super nice. She was a great friend, all of those things. And then her dad comes into the picture. And he's like, I want to be the assistant coach. Well, as a coach, you're like, great. You know softball? Sweet. Awesome. Well, it turns out he didn't know softball. He doesn't know psychology. He didn't know how to do anything but his way. And it was very challenging because when I realized that the things that he was doing and saying were in direct opposition of what I was doing and saying, I had to, as the head coach, say, hey, look, you can't be saying that stuff. You can't be doing these things. This is how we do it. I'm the head coach, and we can't do that. But because I didn't address that in advance, or maybe do a better interview process, or maybe have a contract, like we have a contract with the players, maybe I should have had a contract with that coach. What happened was, once I had that conversation with them, he immediately went to the parking lot and started talking to all the parents and tell them I was stealing money, I was doing this, I was doing that, and just making stuff up. And all of a sudden, you introduce into these parents' head like doubt, right?
Yeah.
They were
Yeah. Yeah.
completely committed to Coach JT up until that second that somebody in a position of trust gave them doubt. And then all of a sudden, there were all kinds of issues.
That one little spark, coach. One little spark caused a forest fire. I mean, that quick, right?
Yeah.
That quick.
And I think the thing is, what I'm getting out of this discussion, you guys could chime in too, is nip it in the butt. Address it before it begins.
Yeah. And like you said, coach, it doesn't happen at the little league level, high school level, college level. Happens at the club level. It happens everywhere. I mean, just whatever you do, and whenever you think that whenever you have that power of helping somebody out, and you're out there for the best reasons, you're out there to make these kids, these boys, girls, whatever, better. But if one parent takes it a whole different way, and they don't see it that way, then it becomes a problem. And you've seen it at the club level. I mean, and that will be tougher because they pay to play. So they think they have a voice because they paid you money to be part of that program. No, yeah. I'm still the coach, and I still have the power to tell you what we're going to do. So, Campbell, I feel for you because I've been there. I know how it all works out. I've given you money. I'm going to play, right?
Yeah. Well, and unfortunately, like I see that. So I help out with a 25 plus team, a 35 plus team, and now a 50 plus team in the Denver area. And even with those teams, like we have trouble with guys who they pay to play. And so they just automatically assume, hey, I'm paying you to be here, so I get an input. And it's like, actually, no. I am named as the manager of this team. I'm able to sit back, watch all of you play, and I can see what position everyone works best in, what spot in the batting order everybody works in. And it's so different, being the person who's like in there. And obviously when you're the player, because I was there when I was younger and playing softball, I thought I was the best and I could do no wrong, And then being on
That's
that other
actually
side,
true. That's actually true.
But being on that other side, sitting back and watching, you're like, oh no, you work really, really well as a third baseman rather than playing shortstop. Like I know you absolutely love playing shortstop, but you're just better suited for third base, and I always try to approach conversations with these people and be like, hey, you know what? Like, I think you are a great player. I love that you're here. I love that you paid to be here because it means you really want to be here. You committed your time and your money to be here, and you chose that. I'm just telling you, hey, I want to win, and I really want you to win because I know it makes the whole team feel good. It makes each person individually feel good when we win. And, and I'm sitting back, I'm keeping the book, I have the stats. I'm telling you right now, you're going to play better at third base than you are at shortstop. And most of the time, I'm right.
Yeah, 100%.
No, coach, I have to interject right here because this happened this year. Campbell's going to know exactly what I'm talking about. So we have a superstar shortstop, and he's been with us for a lot of years on our 25 and over team. And he is a stud. There's no question. He is a stud. He played at Chico State, right? Is that where he played? Yeah, he played at Chico State. Super stud. Love the guy. Love the guy. And he's kind of that diva, right, coach? So he is used to batting 3 and 4 position, never goes below 4. Sometimes he's at 2. He understands he's not really a leadoff hitter. Well, this year Campbell's been doing the lineups, and I just said, "You're doing so good, you just keep doing it." So he comes to me, and he's like, "JT, why do I keep batting 5 and 6? I don't understand this. I need to be 2 or 3 or 4. I can't be 5 or 6." And I'm like, "Well, let me talk to Campbell and see what's going on." And she tells me, "Well, I'm looking at this, and because of this and this, he's actually going to be more productive in that position in the lineup." And I thought, wow, that sounds exactly right. So I go back to him. I'm not going to say his name because he might be watching this someday. But I go back to him and I say, "Look, let's see how this game plays out. Let's just see how this game plays out. And he got up 4 times, 2 times with the bases loaded, and the other 2 times there were runners on second and or third. And this is in one game. One game. He had 5 RBIs that day. 5 or 6 RBIs that day. Yeah. And after the game, I go up to him and I say, hey, do you remember when you came to me before the game and you said, why is Campbell putting you in this position? And he said, yeah. And he immediately was like, he knew this was humbling for him. And I go, Campbell knows numbers and she knows the stats. And she puts you in a position to succeed. And if you can tell me that's not the case, then I'll move you back to 3 or 4. And he said, it's all good. How many times has he come to you since?
Oh, he hasn't been me once since that game.
True story. True story, Coach.
Coach, without coaches like you, me, and Campbell, you will have lineups that everybody bats fourth, third, and fourth, and everybody plays shortstop. Without us telling where they gotta go, that's what you would have. I guarantee it. That and pitching, because they don't have nothing else. So that's why we get paid the big bucks. Say, you know what, you're gonna go to third base, you're gonna go to first. You may go to right field. You may bat ninth. Doesn't mean you're bad. I was an all-state first baseman as a freshman, and I batted ninth because all I saw was fastballs. I had 9 jacks as a freshman, and all I saw was fastballs. I mean, I went straight down the tube. I mean, I hit it, and it was easy for me. And then when I got into my sophomore, junior year, then I went to 3 and 4, and now I saw sliders and curveballs, and I missed batting ninth. I missed seeing those fastballs, but as a coach, he knew what I liked. Fastballs, and that's what I was going to be able to hit, and that's what I did. But man, I just wish, like you said, just we know what we're doing. You know numbers, like the whole thing with Billy Bean and Moneyball. He knew numbers, and he brought a whole different kind of aspect of the game to baseball by the numbers, and they won. They broke records because they knew this guy got on base more times and this way, dry walks or whatever it may be. So that guy that bats 5, 6, 7 will have RBI opportunities. Why not? Give me those chances. I will succeed every single time. I promise you that. So good job.
Hey, just in case the Rockies are listening right now, Coach Larry, I will make this statement on this podcast, on this coaching call right now. If the Colorado Rockies Major League Baseball team were to hire the first ever tandem coaching team for Major League Baseball in Coach Larry, Coach JT, next year they would not lose 100 games. I promise you, they would be much closer to winning 100 games.
I guarantee that. That's a very good choice. That's very good. Yes, exactly.
You never know. If you want to challenge me, challenge me.
Yeah, you never know. We might get the call. I like that call too.
Mark, are you listening? Campbell got that. Larry got that too.
I got it. Yeah, I got it.
Love it. I love it. This is so much fun. So, Campbell, this has been a great discussion on this topic. You, as being a relatively new coach and maybe not been around as long as the game, as long as Larry and I have, how are you feeling about our answer? Is there anything we need to clarify for you?
No, I mean, I feel like what I've gotten from this discussion is that when you see something like that, like you need to nip it in the butt. And if I was dealing with parents, which thank goodness I just play with players and I don't have to deal with parents. But if I was dealing with parents, I love your idea of like sitting down with them and being like, okay, what are your thoughts? What are your ideas? Like, here's what I'm thinking. And like I've just taken away from this, like it's super important to obviously A, nip it in the bud. And then B, just like let your players know what you're thinking and like what you're doing, why you're doing what you're doing. Because when they can sit back and see that you know what you're doing and there's a reason behind what you're doing, they're like, oh, okay. Like now I get it.
Yeah, I love that. And one prime example is when I have a kid come into the program and they're like, I'm a catcher. And I'll be the first to tell you, when I came in as a freshman in high school, I was 4'11", 103 pounds, and I said, I'm a catcher. But the difference between, say, maybe this girl that I'm talking about and myself was there was no other option for me. I was a catcher. That's period. That's what I was there to do. This girl wanted to be a catcher because of, I believe it was her dad caught in high school, and I may be off. That maybe her mom caught softball in high school, but it was one of those. So when I really started coaching her, I said, okay, if you want to be the catcher, here's your competition to be the catcher on our team, and I can't have you on this team sitting on the bench. I don't do that to anybody. So if you can't beat these two girls, then we have to have another discussion. But I'm going to give you every opportunity to do that, right? So let's get to work. Here's the drills. She was in all the catcher's drills. She was doing all that stuff. She was catching all the pitchers. And then I said, Howard, I would periodically pull her out. And this is during winter training where all the work is done, right, Coach?
Mm-hmm.
And I pull her out and I say, how do you think this is going? And she's like, well, I just can't seem to do this, or I just can't seem to do that. And I said, yeah, but you're getting really good at this. Your arm's really good. You're tracking the ball really well. Have you ever thought about trying outfield? No. Would you like to try outfield? Because all those things you just told me you're getting better at would fit in perfectly there. And guess what? I have 4 outfielders on this team. That means you will get a lot more playing time, because the 2 catchers ahead of you are catching Saturday and Sunday. You know that, right? And you understand why. Yes, yes, coach. Yes, coach. Can we try that? She ended up being an All-American center fielder. I mean, she was a stud in center field. She was fast.
Yeah.
She had a strong arm. She had quick feet. She made good decisions. She tracked the ball. And she was like, this game is fun again.
Yeah,
If she was
exactly.
trying to be a catcher, it wasn't fun anymore because I was working her so hard to try and develop her.
Yeah. I had a kid that played shortstop for me and second base, played middle for me. And man, he was having one heck of a year. He was going to be a junior that year, having one heck of a year. And he took one ball off the lips of a ground ball, and I knew he was done. I mean, it went right through his lip and broke through his braces. Pulled him out, went to the dentist, pulled out that lip out of his teeth, and I knew he was done. I tried to get him back. I tried to hit soft ground balls to him, and he was just so timid. And he was a good ball player. He was one of my best players. And I was like, where can I take him? Where can I put him? Right field. And I started from right field, and he started seeing the ball and catching the ball and started doing a better job for me. Then we moved to center field. And coach, did he not just excel at center field? I mean, he was able to track balls down. His arm was plus arm. He had great speed. He just embraced that position so well for me that last 2 years. Ended up going to college, to junior college, and played left field, right field for his team in Montana, and ended up now signing a good scholarship to go to Western Arizona, and he's playing outfield for them guys. And how easy it could have been to say, you know what, you're going back to short, back to second base. I'm going to get you there, and you're not going to be timid no more. You're going to be able to be okay. We knew as coaches that it wasn't going to happen. You know, I don't care what you say or what you do. He was still going to be timid in his mind that hop's going to happen again. And I just put him in the outfield, and he excelled for me over there. And it was great to see that from him. And like I said, even to this day, he's still playing outfield at the next level, and that's just awesome because I'm so proud of him. So, yeah, I totally know what you're saying.
That's so cool. And that brings up another story. So on the opposite end of that shortstop that I was mentioning earlier, we were at Denver Christian, and we were hitting in the cages, and he took a ball right to the cheek. Was it his cheek, Campbell?
It was to his jaw.
Or his jaw. And that thing blew up. And I'm like, you need to go to the doctor. He's like, nope, playing shortstop. So he goes
That's
up
good.
there And he just tears it up playing that game. And everybody's like, you need to go to the doctor. And he's like, no, I'm fine. I'll get it checked out. But it was exactly the opposite. You knew that's the guy you want there. Period.
Oh, definitely. But you look at that with their coach, where it happened in yours happened in the cage, mine happened in the field when he's playing. So it just told mentally the thing wasn't there and I saw the lip, and I still see a lip right now to this day. And now the field with the turf, so that's pretty good. But it had I don't know why you do it, but a sprinkler head right there as shortstop, right by for the grass, and I saw it, and it hit that thing, and I was like, oh my goodness. So, I mean, he wanted to stay in there, he wanted to play, but the blood was gushing out of his mouth. I'm like, no, you're done for today. But no, that's good. I mean, some of those boys are out there saying, you know what, let's go and let's get it, and I love that. But as a coach, like you look at that situation and say, okay, what's good for the team, what's good for you. And at that time it was like, no, you need to go and get the thing care of right now. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
And neither one of them's wrong, right? It's a situation where they're both right. It's just a coach knowing that role, and this is how you relate it to the parents, right? You will get to know, especially in travel ball, because you're traveling with them. I mean, that's literally in the name. And so you guys travel all over. You're in hotel lounges and restaurants and all. You spend a lot of time together, not with just the kids, but also with the parents. And when you have, you can figure out what that parent's role is. So when you're having that conversation, it's not like you're having a conversation with somebody you just met off the street. You're having a conversation with somebody that you like, know, and trust. And you can say, hey, look, this is why I'm doing this the way I'm doing it. What do you think about
that? 100%. The parents will tell you what you want to hear and what you want to, and what you want to hear and what they're going to do. There's always been a parent there always controlling the dinners and reservations and what we're going to do. That parent's always going to be, hey, let's go here, let's do this with the kids. And if you just sit back and watch how it all comes together, they will tell you what they're good at and what they're not good at, and what parent will be able to do this and what parents do that. So as a coach, it's easy for you to go up to that parent and say, hey, can you do this for me? Heck yeah, thank you. And then now you get that team together, and you get that program together. So that's a good thing, Coach. I like that. That's a good thing.
Yeah, just on my 18U softball team, I asked everybody and talked to everybody, and then going out and visiting their games and talking to their parents. I'm like, hey, you're a professional photographer. Would you be willing to come out and shoot some stuff and do this? Oh yeah, I would love to do that. And hey, I have an assistant coach, but you're really good at getting the girls ramped up. Would you mind being our bench coach? Because that's exactly what the definition of that coach is. And she's like, all stoked. She can't wait for us to play a game.
Heck, you got a DJ, don't you? A DJ or something like that?
Yeah, we got a DJ.
Yeah, I mean, you have it all. You're set pretty.
You know it. You know it. We got the film guy. We got the social media gal. We got everything. We got it all.
Exactly. That's awesome.
All right, Campbell, are you ready to go coach a club team for us now?
Am I ready to what? Sorry?
Go coach a club team for us now?
Oh, yeah. To go out in the rain. Hey, we had our first 2 games last weekend. Actually, we had our first 2 games yesterday. And so now I'm excited to go in. I've got some catchers I got to work with. I've got some outfielders to work with. We've got a couple of middle infielders to work with.
Love it.
Yeah.
Where'd you play at?
We played at Scott Carpenter in Boulder.
You played CU?
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, they're D1. We kind of got our butts kicked, but we didn't do too bad for only having 2 practices under our belt.
It's fall ball. What you're learning right now. That's where that's where they get better right here. So
yeah.
Let it go for the fall. Get going. Get better. Every week's better. And like you said, you just said it. You just said it. We got to work on catching, fielding, some outfield work, and the more you do it, the more they get to know what you're doing and how you're practicing it. They understand it, and it's going to come together. It's a good job.
You know, this seems like it's appropriate to bring up now, but I was on a call with a D1 school that Miley Miley is my daughter, for those who don't know, but Miley's going from the JUCO level to D1 probably this next season, and we are on the call with the coach that wants her to come play for him, and he's talking about fall ball. And the hardest thing for me to get Miley to understand as a JUCO player, as a college player, it probably doesn't even matter actually if it's D1 or JUCO or whatever, but as a college player in fall, the coach actually plays the players that he knows less about more. And everybody gets to play because he needs to know what he has on the field and who he can count on and what situations. And so I cannot get that through to my daughter. She would call me, be upset. I only caught 2 innings. I only caught 1 inning. I only went in to hit for this and for that. And I would ask her things like, who were you catching? Well, I was catching Jelly. She's our number 1 pitcher. Okay, that's why you were in there, right? I was catching this person, or I was doing that thing, and I'm working all the bullpens. And she's like, I don't think he's going to play me. I'm like, it's fall ball. It's fall ball. It's fall ball. If you're getting less innings in fall ball, there's one or two things. Either you're going to get cut because you are just not good enough for the team. But most likely, you're one of the starters that he already knows what he has, right? So as soon as spring rolls around, she's catching all the time. And she's hitting all the time. And you're like, I know. But I couldn't convince her of that. So I thought after 1 year of that, we're good, right? Well, this is her second year. We're in fall ball again. And she seems to have short-term memory loss because she forgot that that's what happened last year. And so now she is catching those key innings again, and she's hitting in those key situations early in games, and then she gets pulled out, and she's like, I don't understand. I hit a home run, and he pulls me out. I understand. He knows what he has in you. So we're on the call. Fast forward to actually last night, we're on the call with this D1 coach, and he starts saying, yep, we make sure all 18 girls play. The reason we do that is we want to see what we got. And the girls that we know are going to be starting for us don't play as much. They practice really hard. They do all that stuff. So they're getting their work in there, but they don't play all that much. And I didn't respond, and I waited for Miley to respond. And I was like, and it was crickets. And finally Miley goes, you're right, Dad. You're right.
And I guarantee you, coach, as well, too. I guarantee this. They've had inter-squad scrimmages throughout the week, too. So they're not just not playing games. So that's where else you see you play, because you play each other all the time. So she's getting her at AB. She's getting her time behind the dish. And she don't realize inter-squad is just like a scrimmage or a game down on Saturday or Sunday. But in her mind, it's inter-squad. No, they're still watching you play. Oh, and yeah. that's a great segue, coach, because I'm excited to announce that we're going to have one of my old players come onto our podcast here in the next couple of weeks, and he was going to talk to him about the ranks of going from high school to junior college. Now he's playing Division I baseball. So we're going to be able to talk to him about his path and what he saw from, like you said, the JUCO ranks of practicing 12 hours a day compared to now you have rules. You know, you're going to have rules. So I'm excited for this conversation with him. Great buddy of mine. And I just love to hear great stories about, like you said, your daughter looking at going D1 next year. And I'm hoping, because I want to go to Maryland with you to go visit her and meet some crab cakes down there. And just seeing how these boys are just excelling at the next level, and girls. And just by just loving the game and learn about their passion and what they have to go through every day to be a college athlete, you know, because you still have school. So we're going to ask about that thing too as well. You get to go to school still too, and be an athlete, and now deal with all the other stuff that comes with being an athlete at the D1 level. So I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, that'll be. Oh yeah, Campbell. So now you know our topic. You know, we don't know if it's going to be next week. He's got to sign some waivers, but once he does, that'll be exciting. That'll be exciting.
That's super exciting.
Yes. So we're pumped up for that. Like I said, I know I say this a lot. Pac Nation's growing, man, and I'm excited for everything that's happening within our community, coaches community, our programs. Coach, you want to tell about our new acquisition today that we had coming to us? I mean, it's just awesome. I'm so excited.
Yeah, we're happy to bring in we're bringing in 2 teams actually, really. So we're bringing in the team from California, Campbell Chris Shang is going to coach a 10U team. So that's going to be our first out-of-state team. And then here locally, we just brought on a 14U team. And we may have, through that team and that coach, whose daughter is a sophomore in high school and plays for another club we won't mention on this call, but is very excited about PAC. We may have another softball team coming in.
This is exciting. How awesome is that?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's so exciting.
Yeah, and I think it's important to mention here the value of a coaching community and coaches who know what they're doing, taking their time out to not only talk to you about current issues, but recording it and banking it so that you can go and look at it late at night or replay it when you need it or when that issue does come up. Because as a new coach, maybe you haven't experienced it yet, but you will. You will. Trust me.
Yep.
Trust me. You listen to this call tonight and you're like, oh, I'm never gonna have to deal with that. I don't even know what they're talking about. I have the perfect parents and all this stuff, and yeah, no, you'll deal with it. Coach long enough, you'll run into it.
100%. 100%.
All right, Campbell. Well, I think we're done for this evening. Do you want to close this out?
Yeah, I can do that. Okay. Thank you all for listening. Thank you so much for coming back and watching this call or listening to the podcast. Thank you so much to Coach JT and Coach Larry. As always, we really, really appreciate your advice and like me as a coach. And even after we record these, as soon as I get sent the final cut of our podcast, I send that right over to my club team. And I have my officers go and listen to that, and I'm like, see, this is what we should be doing. This is what we should be implementing. So thank you guys for everything you do. And yeah, we'll see everybody back here on Wednesday for our Q&A.
Yeah, and bring the questions. Bring the questions, and let me just put a little plug in here for PAC. You can go to the coaches community, which is Train with PAC. You can go to our website, which is not up yet, but it's coming soon, the trainwithpac.com. You can always reach out to either Coach Larry or myself or Campbell through the community. We have a YouTube channel, which is PAC Baseball and Softball Academy. And you're going to be seeing our stuff all over because PAC Nation is growing and it's growing fast. And it's because the people on this call here tonight care a lot, not just about you as coaches, but the lives that you are touching as coaches. And we care so deeply about that for the 24 plus years we've been coaching, most of that time we haven't paid a penny. We haven't been paid a penny for what we did. And now we are getting paid. But the value in this community is not just about Campbell and Coach JT and Coach Larry. It's about you. I mean, we want you in this community, and we want you to bring your challenges and help us to grow with you. We want to help you through those challenges, but we want to learn too. I mean, Campbell said something tonight that I'm going to use immediately. And I've been coached. She's my daughter. You know, I've been coaching since before I thought about her. So this is amazing, and that's really the value in this community. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being on this podcast. If that's how you're listening, if you're watching our YouTube channel, if you're in our school community, and if you need additional help, we have jump in the community and talk to us, because you know it isn't just about these live calls. It's about us being here for you 24/7, 7 days a week. And we won't plug that just yet, Larry, but that's coming too.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All
I'm
right.
excited.
All right. Good night.
Thank you so much.
Don't go anywhere, Coach.